sorts of things. But what I'm against is that when somebody thinks that just because they have this, or they have education, or they have a skin that is taken care of, then their narrative is better than that of another person who's not maybe educated or who his skin is, because we have different narratives, we have different realities, and what we need to do is ensure that we take care of those who we can't, or who cannot maybe buy those kind of things. So I think that is mainly my thinking. Yeah.
There are a lot of issues that we are very invisible to those of us who may not have to think about it every single day. I hope we're doing great for time, because Rennie, I'd love to pull you in. You're free to answer any question, but I'd love you to also address the cultural appropriation one within there, if you can.
I was just thinking about social media, and it's the spread of extremely far-right ideas that claim to be backed up by science, but they're looking to racist race science, which has been roundly debunked. And I think that there's a conflict in the mind of the young white boys who find themselves turned by that rhetoric, and the conflict is that the legacy of colonialism has taught them that their whiteness entitles them to the world's opportunities and riches. Right now I'm reading this book, Voices of the Windrush Generation, in the UK. So people who sort of left the West Indies when they were children while it was still under British rule, to go and live in Britain, and it was basically seen as an internal journey. And the writer Colin Grant, he's spoken to all of these elderly West Indian people about their lives before they moved to Britain, and they speak about how their family lineage stopped at slavery. That in school they learnt about Britain, they learnt about snow and daffodils, even though that wasn't part of the landscape that they brought out. The discussion of Africa was spoken about with an intense anti-blackness, and Africa was never the mother country, Britain was. And I just think that pernicious colonialism, which, by the way, white kids in Britain don't learn that happened in the last century, like that. So you literally have white kids in Britain who, then have the audacity to say to the children of those people, "Why are you here?" That pernicious colonial mindset, that social construction of essentially white superiority, despite the fact that it may not be taught explicitly, in Britain or other white settler colonial countries, that exist because of the British Empire. So let's say Australia, New Zealand, Canada, America. It's still, despite the fact that it's not taught explicitly, it is basically an unspoken reality. And then, the world moves on, and these kids realize, actually, your whiteness doesn't give you a pass to, that you could fail in life despite your whiteness. And that perhaps, white people don't get to just fail upwards on the basis of mediocrity, and that their whiteness doesn't give them a pass to anything anymore. And actually, understandably, that makes them angry. I get it. It doesn't mean I agree with it, but I understand.
Great. Well, we're nearly out of time, but I think we can squeeze just a little bit more in. First of all, before I forget, we're also here to promote books and reading and writing. So can you just hold up your book, and here's yours that you can hold up. Gavin, you have. So ladies and gentlemen, I think if you've appreciated our guests, which I really have, I mean, we've only scratched the tiniest bit of the surface. You can see we could go in all sorts of directions. This is a never-ending dialogue. So carry on that dialogue by interacting with these authors' books. They're all available outside. So please do them that honor, because they've done us a great honor coming here today. And please show some appreciation. Can you stand up, please? So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a wonderful audience. I think we're finishing just on time, so we don't get spanked by Lola. Over to you.
This is a problem